Hi friends, how are you today? Nice to have you in my channel. This is KG and you're watching KG's Corner. Please, join me once again in my chat. I'm talking about growth. What is growth? All right, but first of all, I want to thank those who have actually subscribed, those who have commented in my previous videos, and those who actually liked what they saw. And actually also want to disclaim that all the views in my channel, in my chats, are my personal views. They have nothing to do with any subscription to any religion or psychology or philosophy. It's views that I've actually made based on life experiences. All right, so that's where I'm coming from. And I also want to actually apologize if I offend people. We don't all grow in the same way, and as we grow, our views don't actually reflect each other. They are individual, and we can be compassionate towards each other, and maybe express our views in a way that doesn't hurt others, but also understanding that we can only be ourselves. And it is unfortunate also that in the way one views things, they might not be well received by the other. So I just want to actually say that. So what is it about growth that I think is worthy of discussion? Firstly, life is not easy. Life is very difficult. We were not taught that growing up. We actually, it's something that we found as we made our way into life, into society, and we realized that, wow, life is difficult. But that is actually the first awareness that we should actually teach. That's what I've realized. That's the first awareness that we should teach our children, that life is not easy, life is difficult. And it has not, that realization was not, did not come easy for me. I'm sure for many people that life, because it's something that one has had to actually do as they journey through life. You realize, wow, life is difficult. Well, there's a book that I read by an author called M. Scott Peck, which is it's called The Life Less Traveled. That book was one of the first books that I read when I was actually trying to piece together my own personal angst, trying to actually maneuver my way into life and make sense of my own brokenness in the holistic pattern of life. And after reading that book, my life actually changed. But one thing about that book, the first line of the entire book says, life is difficult. And the minute we embrace the fact that life is difficult, then things are become easier, because then you know that life is difficult. You don't expect any more or any less from life. You are prepared that you're going to go through a myriad of ups and downs, and those ups and downs are not bad. They are what we call growth. So the good in life is meant to happen. The bad in life, what we say, the bad in life is meant to happen in order for us to grow. And we do not grow through experiencing goodness. That is actually the unfortunate part. We grow through experiencing what we so call the bad in life, the worst incidents in life, because those are what shape our character. They actually, we mature through the most unfortunate incidents, and that is life. When you actually step back, you realize that life is actually made of unfortunate incidents, I can say maybe 80% of what life is the unfortunate incidents, and 20% is the joy. And the sooner we can actually accept the 80% and be prepared to actually navigate through the unfortunate events of life, then we can actually be in a more balanced state. I know the great books in that we read tell us that life actually they allude to the fact that life is not easy, and the religions allude to the fact that life is not easy. I mean, the saying that you have to be you have to be the saying about the camel going through the eye of the needle, that is the most difficult thing, but it's said well, almost candidly, but it's actually a very eye-opening a statement. The fact that you have to, I forget what the exact verbatim statement, but it actually shows that in order for one to actually achieve something, they have to actually be in a different, in a high or more evolved mindset, a mind state that is holistically accepting of whatever outcome that might arise from whichever decision that you make. So the choices that we make have a lot to do with the experience that we actually journey after making a decision. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so that for me is growth, understanding that life is difficult. And once you actually embrace the fact that life is difficult, then we stop making excuses, because now we know that we're going through a terrain. We are more prepared. We work on ourselves to authentically embrace whatever happens. We work on ourselves to accept whatever outcome, and that has a lot to do with being self-responsible, being responsible in the choices that we make, so that we can actually be able to take on whatever outcomes that arise from the choices that we make. And its growth is not about physical growth. That is determined. Physical growth is determined. You will grow from being 0 months to whichever age you live to. That's physical growth. Mental growth, maturity, to accept and understand the reality, and to accept outcomes that reality throws upon you, or flows towards you, how reality flows towards you, the maturity to accept that. And then that maturity can be either mentally mature to accept and to actually navigate life based on wherever you are in life, whichever standing socially, whichever social standing you're at, and spiritually, psychologically, spiritual maturity, psychological maturity. Those are the three major components of maturity that one should actually be aware to work on as they grow to in the various stages of growth. So mental maturity, spiritual maturity, and physical maturity, and it's a mental maturity, spiritual maturity, and psychological maturity. Those are the three foundations that one needs to work on at every stage, in every stage of growth. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so I just came here to talk about growth, and that is what I have to say for today about growth. And I hope that I wasn't all over the show. I tried to make the video very consumable. Yes, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me today. I just want to say thank you for those who have subscribed, and thanks for the comments in the previous videos. I want to remind you to always love those who are around you. Show them in every way that you can, because that's how we grow, by loving in spite of whatever is happening. And forgiving is actually another aspect of growth, maturity. It's not always easy to forgive when you're hurt, but understanding that in order for us to seed the next stage of growth, we need to be clear and emotionally clear and spiritually clear. And forgiving others allows for the vessel to be clearer. There are many ways to actually find a place within us to forgive. We can pray our hurt, surrendering to the highest within us, whichever highest that you believe in, and also finding minutes of stillness, looking inside yourself so that you can see the hurt and actually go into it, and then be able to come out the other end more aware of where the fault is and how you can actually maneuver your way through the forgiving stage. And the last thing is, please research whatever you find online. There are so many things online that some of us take as truth or reality. Whatever comes, social media, every type of media, please research before you believe it with every ounce of your being, before you take it as your truth. And yeah, so that we can all stay sane and come back and in this platform and be able to grow together and be the best together. And remember also one last thing, it's not the last thing though, it's the first most thing that you should remember, is that you are loved, you are love, you are great. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. I love you.